Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. My name is Mustafa TARIG. I am a representative for Group 5. Today we're going to be talking about Ustad's principle. And I'm going to start off with continuation. Ustad's principle continuation is mostly focused on lines and how the human eye follows the line and in a systematic manner and a very natural manner. Alright, let's start with the Google Maps example. The streets you view are lines, but when you add somewhere, when you add a location you want to go to, let's say by walking, you're going to be presented dots. Your eye is going to recognize those dots. That's going to be like, oh, that's the place I'm going to be going to walk by. And that's how the eye notices the difference between, let's say, a line and a series of dots. Alright. Another way of using contrast is in colors. You're watching YouTube. I call this the media strip. Alright. This place is all red and this place is all white. And why is that? Because this place has already been washed and this place is white. It's not washed, it's the remaining part of the video. I'm going to be talking about arranging elements. It's a really important thing to take note of when designing UI. Alright? Because the user might not know the difference between an arranged category or something that doesn't even relate to that. For example, when you arrange, let's say, a category of movies and a category of TV shows, what are you going to use? Horizontal categories or vertical? It's mostly going to be horizontal because in most cases the human eye follows from left to right or right to left to read. Here's a great example. This is my subscriptions tab. These are the people I'm subscribed to in YouTube. Immediately after that, these are the categories. You can see that the categories are named individually, and under that are the videos. And that will be all for my part. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now I will be presenting about the figure and ground principle from the Gestalt principle in user interface design. So what is the figure and ground? For example, here I am the figure because I am sitting in front of the camera, and here is my background because it is located behind me. So what are the uses of figure and ground principle in user interface design? For example, you can see here in IG feed there are many posts here and users are not drawn to focus in a single post, but if you hold here, okay, so you can see that there are only one post and the background are being blurred in order to draw the user attention to the post. Okay, so another example you can see here in Apple website, they are using color to differentiate between the product and the background. So here user will use the website can focus on the product that Apple are trying to sell. Okay, so there are the implementation of figure and ground in user interface. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Fadini. I'm going to continue with the next Gestalt principle, which is common fate. The elements that are usually moved in the same direction seen as unified group. For example, we have swipe out menu. All the similar tasks is usually grouped together under one main task. The main task here is main menu. When you click main menu, all the subtasks will appear here and you can choose either one of these. The next one is tooltips. When you move the cursor closer to the certain element, the description will appear here. Okay, the next one is uniform connectedness. Is elements visually connected are seen to be more related to each other. For example, at the login interface, you can see the elements of username and password are related to each other in order to achieve the same task, which is to log into an account. So when they are grouped together, they seem to be more related to each other. And the last one is symmetry. For example, we can see here the symmetry symbol of Red Bull and Adidas. Symmetry is the balanced distribution of visual element. This is to achieve a clean and organized layout.
Assalamualaikum, my name is MUNIRAH binti KURDI. Now I will proceed with information architecture. So information architecture is about focusing on organizing, structuring and labeling the content in effective and sustainable ways so that we can help the user to easily find information and complete the task. So by this, we need to first understand on how the pieces will be fit together to create larger image or larger pictures and how item will relate to each other within the system. So in this information architecture, we will have four main components, which is the first one is organizer scheme and structure, which is talking on how are we going to categorize and structure the information. And the second one is about labeling the system, which talking about how are we going to represent the information. Moving on to the third component, which is navigation system, which mainly about how the user will browse or move through the information. Last one will be a search system, which is about how the user will look for the information. So moving on to the next part, which is on how are we going to make sure the information architecture work, which is the first one is defining the taxonomies, like bring together the term so that they are accessibly classified. So in here, to get these taxonomies right, we will have two technique, which is the first one is user research and the second one is card sorting technique. So for the user research, basically we are going to do like interview to that so that we can understand on how the user will approach to get certain given set of data. While for the sorting process, basically it will include with three things, which is the first one will be terminology, the second one relationship, and the last one is categories. So that's all for the part C.